Today we're going to be talking about the best quarterback tips to help your accuracy, arm strength, and overall ability. Now, tip number one is going to help you throw a better spiral, especially as a quarterback. You're in a practice setting, camp setting, you have to be able to spin the ball and you have to look a certain way when you throw the ball. So an easy tip that can help you get more spin on the ball, your index finger, you guys, is your spiral finger. That is the last finger to touch the ball, and that is how we get that thing to ultimately spin. So to get a little bit more spin on the ball, to increase the spin rate on the ball, try to apply a little bit more pressure on the ball with your index finger. Don't over grip it. You still want to have somewhat of a gap between your palm and the ball, but try to apply a little bit more pressure with that index so it can be the last finger to touch your hand. We have a much easier way to spin that thing. Now, as a quarterback, to be able to generate power, that's going to be able to come from your hips and your core. So a lot of quarterbacks, when they throw, and this is a common mistake that they make, is that they will step to the target and they just rotate with their hips. But guys, it's more than just rotating with your hips, and that brings me to tip number two: transfer your weight. Don't just rotate your hips. So whenever you go to throw, and let's say I step to the target, I don't want to just think, okay, my back hip is going to drive, because sometimes what that'll allow quarterbacks to do is keep a lot of weight loaded onto their back leg. They might be trying to rotate, but they're not getting a full power source from their lower body. So you want to think, guys, in your base, you have weight on your right leg. I like to have my quarterbacks in a base called 70-30. 70% on their back leg, their head, knee, and foot are stacked on top of each other, and you take this weight, you go from quad to quad. Outside part of your quad to the outside part of your front quad. So you shift the weight through, and when you shift your weight, naturally your hips will rotate. So maybe don't even think about hip rotation. Think about shifting weight from quad to quad, and that'll help you get a little bit more juice and a little bit more velocity on your throws. Now, playing the quarterback position is so much more than throwing mechanics, arm strength, accuracy. You also need to have the mental side of the game down and know where to go with the ball. So check out that very first link in the description below if you're a quarterback and you want to improve your football IQ and reading defense's ability. What you can get access to is over 500 different videos that I have made on how to read different coverages, the weaknesses of different coverages, how to go through progressions, reads, etc., all made for quarterbacks. So guys, check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested and you want to improve your football IQ. Now, tip number three for quarterbacks to help with arm strength and to take pressure off of their throwing elbow and throwing shoulder is when you throw to the target, you never want to push to create your stride. You want to stride first and then push. I think something a lot of old school quarterback coaches teach is that you're going to generate power off this inside arch of your back foot. You want to push to the target, and when you push, that's going to help you get more of a weight transfer from your back leg. That is completely wrong, and I want you to get that out of your mind, because as quarterbacks, guys, to take pressure off my arm and to have sustainable velocity on my throws, I need to rotate from my hips, aka transfer my weight, but the transfer of my weight, the rotation of my hips has to happen at the right time. So think of it like a baseball swing, you guys. I'm in the batter's box, pitcher throws me a pitch, I step to the pitcher, keep the bat here, and I transfer my weight, my hips fire through, and the bat trails behind. That'll increase something called bat speed, which helps the baseball go further. How hitters generate power and how quarterbacks generate power is the exact same way. It's about the timing and when you transfer weight and drive with your hips in your throwing sequence or your kinetic sequence, in a sense. That's a biomechanics term. So when we throw, you're here, you don't want to push to create that step, because when you push to create your front step, all of your body weight shifts forward. Imagine trying to hit a baseball like this with all your weight forward. You'd have no power on the ball. Same thing as a quarterback. So guys, we want to think step. It's separate from my backside, and when you step, keep your weight back, you can keep your shoulders back, and then when you transfer that weight, going from quad to quad, those hips, the weight transfer can come through before the shoulder, before the elbow, and that takes pressure off of my arm. A lot of people will go here and they'll push, weight gets to the front foot, their hip and their back leg trail behind. So even if they're trying to transfer weight, your elbow and shoulder are ahead of your hip, and that's what puts a lot of pressure on your arm and why you have arm pain. So guys, remember, it's a step, then a transfer, and that transfer happens before my elbow in football. Now, tip number four to help you with accuracy is going to be something called extension. So a lot of quarterback coaches, whenever they see a quarterback miss a throw, they'll just say, oh, just flick your wrist a little bit more at the target. But it's more than just a flick of the wrist. Yes, you have to flick your wrist, but you want to get to a point called extension. And that means when you release the ball, you want your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder to be completely extended at the target. Your wrist should be 6 inches in front of your front stride. That is the magic spot that we ultimately want to be to help myself get more accurate. Now also guys, if you are a quarterback and would like a daily off-season training schedule that you can follow, check out that second link in the description below for our Elite Quarterback Training Package. What you'll get access to is a 2-month-long training schedule for quarterbacks in the gym and on the field. So like Monday you're doing this workout, Tuesday this, Wednesday rest day, etc. We give you the exact sets and reps to do for the exercises in the gym, the drills on the field, and we include an example for each drill and for each gym exercise. So if you guys want some more information on that, check out that second link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, tip number 5 for quarterbacks, to just generally improve their entire game, no matter what element it is, you have to love the boring stuff. So what do I mean by that? So as a quarterback, like let's think about it like this. Let's say you're a quarterback who struggles with their throwing mechanics, right? Like maybe you have a real long motion, maybe you're just like maybe not the most efficient, you have a problem swinging open with your front side and your arm flies. It takes a lot of reps to fix a problem like that. Now that might turn a lot of people off, and quite frankly, I don't think you're cut out for the position if you don't love the boring stuff. You have to love the repetition work, doing the boring stuff over and over and over again to get better at a skill. Think about it like this. They say it takes 1,000 reps to break a bad habit, and it takes 10,000 reps to master a bad habit. So I'll give you a perfect example. I used to, in high school when I played, I used to have this really long, like baseball type throw. Playing years of baseball kind of gave me this natural like kickback motion with my arm. My arm would almost like fully extend and then I would throw. To break that bad habit, I literally stood in front of a mirror every single day because somebody told me that 1,000 rep, 10,000 rep habit, and I would hold a very light dumbbell and all I would work on was just this, going back, being at a 90. I would do 50 reps of that. Then I would go 50 reps of going from 90 to 90, 90 to 90. And that type of boring stuff is what it takes to get better. So if there are skills that you need to improve on, you have to rep it out every single day, as that's what it takes to have success at this position.